I'd like to take a moment to share the exercise disclaimer slide, so please take a glance at that. Thank you so much for your patience. Welcome everyone to yoga. My name is Melissa, and I'll be guiding you through a 45-minute practice today. So just as a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches are not working for you, you can always skip them, come out and modify. And for prep today, you'll want to have your yoga mat. It's nice to have a block and a blanket close by. So if you have those yoga props, it'll be great to use those tonight. If you don't have them, no biggie, we can kind of work around them. So let's get started in a child's pose today. And we'll just do a little centering here in a resting pose. So as you come into child's pose, if you feel that your knees are a little sensitive, feel free to grab a blanket. You can do a little padding here for the knees. And child's pose, there's a couple of options. Your knees can be together, and you can just let yourself fold over. You can take your big toes to touch, maybe your knees away from one another, and then let yourself fold down. And just letting your eyes close here. Maybe creating a little bit of a gentle micro movement to gently settle into your pose and into your stretch. With your exhale, try to feel your hips lowering down to your heels. Let your heart lower down to the mat. And then we're just going to breathe here into our low back, mid back, and upper back. Take a moment to connect with your breath. Observe the rise and the fall of your breath. And then lengthening as you inhale and lengthening as you exhale. And then maybe encouraging your exhale to be a little bit longer than the inhale. If you would like, set an intention for your practice today. And intention could be anything that you'd like, maybe to clear the mind of thoughts, to keep the breath freely flowing in and out. Intentions are a nice way to connect us to the practice and to help make the practice our own. Let's begin to make our way into table. And as we find table, we'll work today with some earth salutations. So these are a really nice grounding salutation. It's also a really nice flow for your back to warm up the spine differently and a nice heart opening practice. So let's come up onto the knees, take a full breath in. We'll reach and stretch our hands to the sky. And then as you exhale, let's bring ourselves down to that child's pose. Core engages. Let's ripple forward through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, bringing you to a knee down plank position. And then lowering all the way down to the mat. Let's take ourselves into sync. So we'll start with a gentle back bend here. Let your elbows be in line with your shoulders. You can reach for opposite arms just to test out. Make sure that your elbows aren't too far from one another. We want a nice strong foundation here. You can stay here, maybe press your hands down. Elbows can lift up. You can wrap your elbows in towards one another. Arms can straighten, that's another option. And we'll just take a moment to reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Lower down to the mat. Let's take a nice full breath in here. Exhale, downward facing dog. As you come to a down dog, let's take it out a little bit here. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and then relax your head yes, and relax your head no. Try to just feel grounded in your hands and grounded in your feet. Maybe the first down dog of your day. So just noticing how your body is feeling and noticing how movement is feeling as well. Let's take our knees down to the mat. We'll bring our hips to our heels on the exhale. Heart softens down. And then coming on up to stand on the knees, take a full breath in, reach and stretch your hands up. Hands at your heart as you exhale. Yeah, so that was one complete earth salutation. So we'll work with a bunch of different variations. Let's take our hands up, breathe in. Let yourself come down, float into that child's position. Core engages, let's ripple forward through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Lower down to the mat. Let's bring ourselves into a bow pose from here. And then bow, we'll take yoga mudra for the hands. So fingers will interlock, palms will touch. Imagine squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades. And then lifting yourself up with the breath here. So we'll just try to lift our legs from the mat and our arms are lifting up. We're lifting our chest as far as we can. We'll just take nice, deep breaths in and out here. Let's bring ourselves down to the mat. Take a full breath here. Press back to a downward facing dog when you're ready. And then shake it out if you'd like. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. Relax your head yes, and relax your head no. Knees will begin to lower. Hips to the heels. Let's float ourselves back onto to our child's pose. Coming onto the knees. Hands will reach and stretch up. Hands at your heart as you exhale. Let's take our hands to the sky. Full breath in. Hands with the heart space. Let's come on down to that child's position. Core engages. We'll ripple forward through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And then moving into a low cobra pose from here. So we'll take our reverse push-up. Hands under the shoulders, glue the tops of your feet down, lifting up to your navel. Hug your elbows into the sides of your body. Let your elbows run straight back. And then almost create a little sensation like you could lift your hands off of the mat. Let's put ourselves down to the mat. We'll give ourselves a breath here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's lower the knees down. We'll bring our hips to our heels, heart soften. Coming up onto the knees, hands reach and stretch to the sky. Hands at your heart space as you exhale. Hands will sweep up, breathe here. Let's float ourselves down to that child's pose. Come on forward, knee down, plank position. Moving into King Cobra. We'll lower it to the mat. Let's take our hands in line with our shoulders and then walk the hands off to the sides of the mat. So maybe a foot on one side, a foot on the other side. You can be kind of tented up on your fingertips. Glue the tops of your feet down and let's rise up. Maybe straighten the arms if you'd like. You can keep your elbows bent and keep your elbows up towards the sky. Let's breathe here. Nice deep full in breath and nice deep full out breath. Float yourself to the mat. Let's take a full breath here. Let's press ourselves back. We'll come back through that downward facing dog. And then let your knees lower down. We'll take our hips to our heels on the exhale, back onto a child's pose. Coming up onto the knees, take your hands to the sky. And then draw your hands at your heart as you exhale. Let's come on forward. We're gonna land in dolphin. So for this one, elbows or reach for opposite arms here. Elbows are on the mat. Hands come out in front. Toes will curl under. Sitting bones to side. Toes walk into the face. Breathing here. So let's try to feel that the backs of the legs lengthen. Sitting bones reach and touch to the sky. Feel your spine lengthen. Try to relax the back of your head and your neck. Feel that really strong connection of the forearms into the mat. We want to lift and find length through our shoulders. Knees can lower down. Working on toe scan from here. Toes will curl under. Sit back onto your heels. And let's take 3 shoulder rolls. Take your shoulders up to the ears. Find a large circle and release. Rising up. Let it go. One more time with your breath. Great. Let's come on forward. Landing into tabletop. Tap the tops of your feet out on the mat. And then let's sit up for that dolphin plank. So this will be similar but a little different. So same setup. And then walk your toes back. We'll have our toes curling under. Knees are lifting up. And if you wanted to make this stretch a bit easier, knees can come down to the mat for a little bit of support. Feel your tailbone tuck. Feel the navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. And then create this nice long line that flows from your heels to the crown of the head. Find that neutral gaze with the space between the forearms. Lift from your shoulders. Find length and find space here. Knees will begin to lower. Toes curl under. Sit back onto the heels for toe stand. Let's take a shoulder stretch this time. Hands behind your body. Fingers will interlock. Palms will touch. Maybe imagine squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades. Great, let's bring ourselves forward into table. You can tap the tops of your feet out. And then let's try one more variation of a dolphin. So we're gonna try side plank this time. For side plank, let your left arm spin in, your lower arm. We're gonna just let that spin in. Come onto the outer edge of your left foot. You can stack the insides of your feet together. Hand can reach and stretch to the sky. And try to feel your top hip reach and stretch up as well. We're gonna float our right arm under, left hand rises. And bottom leg can lower for that modification if you'd like. Make sure that you're breathing here. Full breath in, full breath out. We'll float ourselves back on through to the elbows. Toes will curl under, sit back onto your heels through that toe stand. Let's take our hands to the sky as you inhale. Draw your hands at your heart space as you exhale. One more time this direction. Hands reach and stretch up. And release. Let's begin to flow in the other direction. We'll take our hands to the sky. Let the arm creep out and around. Good. Let's put ourselves on forward, back on through into table. You can tap the tips of your feet out on the mat. Give yourself a breath here. Let's press back to down dog as you exhale. Toes to the hands. Make your way to the top of your mat in a fold. Bring yourself into a half lift. Fold yourself down. Let's rise up. Full breath in. Come on up to stand. Hands at the heart space as you exhale. Hands will sweep to the sky as you breathe in. Let's come into chair pose. Utkatasana. And come on down into your forward fold. Bring yourself into a halfway lift. Plant your hands. Let's come back on through to plank. High push-up pose. Holding an up dog here. Let's lower down chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Let's gaze off the right shoulder. We'll look back for our right toes. Back to center. Let's lengthen. Release to the left. Back onto the center. Let's take a full breath here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky. Let's take a three-limbed dog. Float your right foot through for runner's lunge. And begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And then as you're flowing with the breath here, as you exhale, feel your legs straightening. As you inhale, feel the knee bending, floating, and moving forward. Let's take a moment here. Straighten your right leg, fold over. Let your spine relax. Try to relax the back of your head and the back of your neck. Right knee will bend. Right hand to the sky. Let's take our twist, runner's twist. And then with your runner's twist on the in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. On the out-breath, let your twist deepen. Let's lower our hands down. Core engages. Let's come on up for a crescent warrior. And then in crescent, try to square the hips and the shoulders forward. So we'll encourage that left hip forward a little bit. Right hip draws back slightly. Left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Creating some movement here. Let's straighten our front leg, arms alongside the body, palms face forward. Float your hands up, back on through crescent. Exhale, release. And we'll just find our own rhythmic flow here for a moment. Good. Let's do a reset back on through to crescent. Hands come down. Let's split ourselves into our lunge. Make your way back into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. We'll come into our up dog here and press back to down dog as you exhale. Left leg takes a float to the sky, 3-limbed dog. Foot floats forward, runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And then if you need to modify the stretch, you can bring your hands on blocks for a little bit of support. You can also lower that right knee down onto the ground for support as well. Straighten your front leg. Let's fold ourselves over. Left knee will bend. Left hand to the sky. Let's come into a twist. Lower your hand down. Core engages. Let's take ourselves up through crescent. Feel that your back leg is really active, engaged, and energized. We want to feel that heel presses straight back, heel in line with our hips. Movement here, we can straighten out our front leg, arms alongside the body, palms face forward, rising up. And release. So each time that you move with your breath, you can move a little deeper into the stretch if you'd like. You can have a deeper bend in the knee if needed. You can have less of a bend in the knee if needed. So it's really a nice little flow that you can modify for your body. Back on through. Let's do a reset here to crescent. Hands come down for runner's lunge. Make your way into plank. High push-up pose. Let's lower down chaturanga. We'll come into an up dog here. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. And we'll press back to down dog as you exhale. So to the hands, let's make our way forward, back on through to a fold. Halfway lift. Fold it down. Let's try chair, Utkatasana. Rising into mountain and hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's try a different variation of a sun salutation B. Hands will shoot to the sky as you inhale. Moving into chair, Utkatasana. Let's come down into that fold. Bring yourself to your half lift. Let's come on back to plank. High push-up pose. As you find plank, lower down chaturanga. Up dog. Let's try to open up the chest and the heart. Down dog, breathe out. Taking your right leg up to the sky, 3-limbed dog. Right knee to right tricep. We're just going to do a little tap forward. Send it up and down. Knee to nose on exhale, round. Up and back. Let's take our right knee to our left tricep. Up and back. Let's take our right foot through. We're going to try runner's lunge this time. Rise to crescent with the breath. Feel your core engage. Let your tailbone tuck and feel your navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Bringing off your back foot, let's try tree pose. You'll bring the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg. You can bring that foot anywhere on the leg that feels comfortable. You just don't want to place that foot right onto the knee joint. Let's bring ourselves back on through to crescent warrior. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. So we want to create a little space here between the ears and the shoulders. Come on forward into crane. We'll come into Baddha Konasana. Arms out into T with soft wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Let's bring ourselves back on through to a warrior one pose this time. So we're going to press really firmly into that back heel. Press firmly into the outer edge of your foot. Breathe into your calf stretch. Breathe into the hamstring stretch. We'll take our hands behind our body. Fingers interlock, palms touch. Lengthen here. Fold it down as you exhale. Try to relax the front of your shoulders and just notice if that helps you move deeper into the shoulder stretch. Core engages. Let's take ourselves back on up. Reset to warrior one. Hands come down. We're going to float ourselves to that lunge. Make your way into plank, high push-up pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Let's try to reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Downward facing dog. Left leg takes that float to the sky. 3 limbs dog. Left knee to left tricep. Float it up and float it back. Knee into your nose, round your spine. Up and back. Let's take that left knee to the right tricep. Up and back. And then big step through. Runner's lunge. Core engages. Rise to crescent warrior. Feel the arms really active. Arms from your ears. Fingers are active. Reach and stretch through the fingertips. Let's come on forward into tree. Bringing your foot anywhere that feels comfortable. Find your drishti. Find that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Let's come on back to crescent. Drop in, connect with your breath. Breathe into your stomach, ribs and chest. Releasing from chest, ribs, and the stomach. Let's come on forward into crane. And as you align here, try to feel that the hips and the shoulders are even. So sometimes that right hip will kind of rise and roll up a little bit. So we're just going to roll it down slightly, evening off the low back and evening off through the hips. Let's bring ourselves to warrior one from here. Right foot back, right hand lowers, hands reach up. Ground really firmly to your feet. Almost imagine that you could pull your feet in towards one another. Hands behind your body, fingers interlock, palms touch. Full breath here to lengthen. Let's fold ourselves down as you exhale. Just noticing where you're holding tension. Let that go with each out breath. Core engages. Let's float ourselves up. Reset to warrior one. Hands will lower down for runner's lunge. Come on back into plank. Find that high push-up pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Breathe into your back bend and press back to down dog when you're ready. Float yourself forward. Let's make our way to the top of our mat in a fold. We'll bring ourselves into a half lift. Release yourself to the earth. Chair pose. Let's try Utkatasana. And then rising to mountain pose. Bringing your hands at your heart as you exhale. Taking a moment to pause here. If you would like, maybe draw one hand to your heart, one to your navel, letting the eyes close and just gently connecting with your breath and your body here. Maybe feel your heart beating, connect to the life force, to the energy inside of your body. And then also feel your body connecting to the breath. As you inhale, feel your chest rise and feel your navel rise. Feel your chest fall and feel your navel fall. And then just remembering each time that you breathe, you bring life and oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. Let's take our right hand for our right foot. We'll work with dancer pose. We'll come into Nadarajasana. You can grab on the outside of the foot. That might be a little easier stretch on your shoulder. If you wanted that deep shoulder stretch, you can grab on the inside of your foot. We'll take our hand up. You may want to take the index and your thumb together. The pads of the fingers can touch for a mudra. And then begin to kick the foot into the hand. We're going to take ourselves forward into Nadarajasana. And so this pose has lots of benefits. It's really great for strengthening your standing leg, strengthening all of the muscles through the foot, through the ankle, and through the knee. You also get a nice back bend through the 3 parts of your back. Also a nice quad stretch, a flexor and psoas stretch. Let's come into warrior 2 from here. We'll take our right foot back. Have your back foot straight with the back edge of your yoga mat. Have your front heel in line with your back arch. Gaze off your front fingertips and allow for your shoulders to be over your hips. Feel yourself reach forward and reach back. We'll create some movement here. Take your hands to the sky. Let's breathe in and exhale, release. Full breath in. Let's reach up, stretch up. Let it go. 5 more times with the breath here. Releasing back to warrior 2. Let's take reverse, float it up and float it back. You can keep that nice deep bend in the front knee. Body's natural tendency is to straighten the leg a little bit. Let's do a little cartwheel through. We'll take a lateral angle. And for lateral angle, maybe lowering your hand down to the mat. Maybe you want to bring your hand on a block here. And then just trying not to collapse into the bottom shoulder. We'll create a little lifting here and a little lengthening. Core engages. Let's rise up. Reset to warrior 2. Straighten your front leg. Take your front hand up and back for reverse triangle stretch. Core engages. Let's bring ourselves back to center. Hips will go back. Hands will reach and stretch forward. Lowering your hand down for Trikonasana. We'll come into triangle. Maybe imagine your body in between 2 panes of glass. Coming forward to balancing half moon pose. Left hand floats out in front, right foot floats forward. Maybe hand for the foot, take a bind here. Bring yourself back on through. Let's do a reset to warrior 2 pose. Windmill your hands down to the mat. Let's find our way to our runner's lunge. As you take your lunge, let's walk our left foot to the left edge of the mat. Both hands to the inside of your foot. Right foot comes forward to the upper right edge of the mat. And then we'll land in a fold with our legs wide here. So we'll float ourselves into a yogi squat pose. Toes will turn out. Heels will shift in. Send your weight back into your heels. Let your toes be a little bit lighter and almost a feeling like your toes could lift from the mat. Let's come back on through to our fold. Plant your hands straight in the backs of your legs. Feet in line with your hips. Take yourself to a half lift. Fold yourself to the mat. Let's come on up. We're going to rise for mountain pose. Hands at your heart as you exhale. Let's bring our left hand to our left foot. We'll try dancer on the other side. Right hand reaches and stretches out in front. Begin to kick the foot into the hand to come forward. And then as you align here in dancer pose, just checking in, make sure that you're breathing. Really easy to hold the breath. We want to take a full breath in and a full breath out. Releasing to warrior 2 from here. Left foot floats back. Shoulders are over your hips. And then we're just going to feel ourselves reaching forward and back on this one. Try to relax your shoulders from your ears. Full breath in and out. Movement. We'll take a flowing warrior 2 pose. Great. Let's reset. We're going to float ourselves back on through to warrior 2. Reverse. Float it up and float it back. Keeping that deep bend in your front knee. Float on through to warrior 2. Bring it down to a lateral angle. And then maybe lowering the hand down to the mat for extended lateral angle. Core engages. Back on through to warrior 2. Straighten your front leg. Front hand up and back. Core engages. Let's come on through. Hips will go back. Hands reach and stretch forward. Hand lowers down for Trikonasana. We'll land in that triangle stretch. And imagining if you could see your body, try to create this triangle through your lower legs in the ground, and then your arms and your side body and your legs. Coming forward for balancing half moon pose if you'd like. You can lift your left leg up, flex your left foot, and just take a peek to your right foot. Make sure that your foot is straight with the edge of your yoga mat. Maybe hands to the foot if you'd like. You could take a bind and find your way to sugar cane. And release. Let's put ourselves back on through warrior two pose. As you align here, let's windmill the hands down. We're going to float ourselves into that lunge. Walk your right foot to the right edge of the mat. Both of your hands to the inside of your foot. Left foot comes on forward to the upper left edge of your mat. And then let's try out that squat pose. You can stay in your fold with your legs wide. Maybe bring your toes out, have your heels shifted in, and try to draw your weight back into your heels. So toes are a little lighter here. We're gonna come on forward into a fold. Planting your hands straight in the backs of your legs, and then walk your feet right in line with your hips. Let's bring ourselves to a down dog as you exhale. We're just gonna float ourselves back. Working with the hip opener here. Let's take that right leg to the sky. We'll bend the knee, stack open through the hip. Take your right knee to your right wrist. Working with pigeon. So for pigeon, our lower leg, we'll have it at a bit of an angle so that your right foot is aiming towards your left hip. And then we are going to try a little quad stretch here if that works for you. So maybe bend your left knee and try to bring your left foot into your body. So if you can't reach your foot, if you have a yoga strap close by or, a tie or rope or something like that, you can just kind of loop that around your foot and pull that in. And this one will be great for opening up your quad, helping to release those hip flexor and psoas muscles, those muscles that shorten throughout the day. So it's going to give them that nice, good stretch. Let's release the foot down. Hips and shoulders will square forward. Give yourself a breath here, and let's come on down and fold in pigeon. So maybe close your eyes here. Relax the eyebrows, relax your jaw. And try to let go of tension through the back of your head and the back of your neck. Relax through the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Try to relax the upper, mid, and low back. And then relaxing through the legs and relaxing through the feet. Let's begin to press ourselves back. We're going to come into a down dog as you exhale. So you'll just bring your right foot to meet your left foot. And then trying the stretch on the other side. Left leg to the sky. Let's bend, stack, and open. Left knee to your left wrist. Have your lower leg at a bit of an angle so that your heel is aiming towards your hip. Try to square your body forward here. Let's take a full breath to lengthen. You can try out that quad stretch if you'd like. And if you are trying out your quad stretch, just notice if the stretch feels very similar on this side of your body to the first side of the body that you worked on. It may feel very similar and may feel very different one side to the next side. Letting go of your quad stretch, hips and shoulders square forward. Let's take a full breath here to lengthen. Come on down as you exhale. Let's begin to release. And to come out of the stretch on this side, roll onto your left hip and sweep your right foot forward. We'll bring the soles of the feet to touch and draw your knees from one another. We'll work with a seated forward fold. So you'll just feel the insides of your feet roll from one another. Try to feel even here. Full breath to lengthen. Fold yourself down as you exhale. And you can use the help of your arms to draw your knees from one another. You can also walk your hands out in front and then just let yourself come forward into a fold. And then just maybe closing your eyes here, gently connect to the rise and the fall of your breath. Lengthening as you inhale, lengthening as you exhale. Maybe encouraging that exhale to be a little bit longer than the inhale. We'll walk our hands into our body to flow up through the spine. Help of the hands, knees can come together. You can give the legs a little shake out. And let's start with a reverse plank. So as we come into reverse plank, you can have your hands behind your body. Fingertips can point away from you, or you can draw them in, whichever feels more comfortable. And then let's begin to press into our heels, engage your core, and then try to lift your hips up. And then on this one, we'll try to tuck our tailbone. We'll feel our navel move back and up to the spine slightly. And imagine if you could see yourself from the side, trying to create this line that flows from your heels to the crown of the head. Hips can lower down. Let's do a release for our wrists. Palms come together, fingers interlock, circle out your wrists a bit here. And then flow in the other direction. And we'll try out a reverse tabletop. So same thing, you're gonna plant your hands down. This time your knees will bend, core engages, lift your hips up. And then feeling the tailbone tuck. Navel back and up to the spine slightly. Try to create that line that flows through your spine. Lengthening back of neck, reach and stretch through the crown of the head. We'll lower the hips down. Finding your seated position, we'll release our wrists one last time. Fingers interlock, palms touch, and circle. Flow in the other direction, and give your wrists a bit of a shake out. Let's come down onto our back. We'll work with a pose called Sleeping Tiger Stretch. So for this one, legs will extend up towards the sky. And you can point your toes, you can flex your feet, maybe press out through the two ball mounds of your feet and then kind of spread through your toes. Take your hands to the sky and then gently draw your shoulder blades into the mat. And then let's close our eyes here for a moment. You can create this sensation of engaging your core. Let your tailbone tuck. Feel your navel move back and up to the spine slightly. And then activating your legs, whether you're pointing toes, flexing feet, maybe pressing out through the balls of the feet. Also activate your hands, reach and stretch through your fingertips. Feel your palms face one another. And then we'll gently release this one. You can just let yourself relax along the mat. So you'll just let your arms relax, let your legs relax, close your eyes. And transitioning to Shavasana, our resting pose of our yoga practice. So as you settle here, you may be able to feel the circulation and blood flowing in your fingertips and in your toes. Just giving yourself this opportunity to integrate all of the benefits of the yoga practice into your mind and your body. Gently deepen your breath. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. And just noticing how you feel in the moment. Feel your mind relax, calm, and at ease. Feel your body aligned and balanced. Tension that you came to class with, just feeling how that's released with breath and with movement. Coming onto your side, land in a fetal position. Maybe create a pillow with your lower arm, gently support your head, and feel your body take the shape of the posture. Making your way into seated when you're ready. And as you come into seated, hands can move into the heart space in prayer in Anjali Mudra. Thanking yourself for practicing yoga today, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. It's great to be here with you, to share the practice of yoga with you. Have a wonderful day today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.